Today. I'm Michael Strom, the student trustee from the College of New Jersey and the general chair of the Garden State Student Alliance. These students before you are all members of the Garden State Student Alliance, a group formed in response to the growing need for stronger support to public higher education in the state of New Jersey. We are all students from various state-supported higher education institutions in New Jersey. We are not paid or compensated for our efforts, nor do we expect any changes within our own times that we have left in college. However, we continue to pursue change to the incredible and growing need for more support to higher education that is met each year with decreased financial support from the state. It's our founding mission that we believe in affordable, accessible, and honest education that comes at a minimal cost to the student. We further believe that gaining an education promotes superior citizenship. Based on these beliefs, our goals are to effectively raise student awareness of the issues facing higher education in New Jersey. Through knowledge and articulation, we aim to assist in maintaining institutional autonomy. We faithfully seek to achieve these goals with a drive to continually improve higher education. The Garden State Student Alliance shall serve as a catalyst for change at the state level by voicing student concerns for the purpose of improving accessibility and affordability for all students in the state of New Jersey. It is not easy for students hours away from one another to come together to pursue these goals. However, we have continued undaunted since our creation to ensure that the student voice will not be silenced. We've existed and grown for 2 years and will continue to do so for years to come. With that, it is my privilege to welcome you all to the first ever press conference of the Garden State Student Alliance. I would now like to welcome to the podium our guest speaker, Senator Bill Baroni, who would like to say some words about state-supported higher education in New Jersey today.
Michael, I want to say thank you very much, and I want to thank the Garden State Student Alliance for putting this together. In many state capitals across the country, whether it's in Raleigh or in Richmond or in Sacramento, students at colleges and universities across those states are passionate defenders, the front line of defense for the state higher education systems in those states. And with the Garden State Student Alliance today, we've got a group of students who are passionately committed, as is evident by the names and petitions in front of us. I know Michael's going to talk about that, who are committed not just to their personal education, but to the education both today and tomorrow of the next generation of college students in New Jersey. New Jersey is blessed with one of the best higher education systems in the country. But at the same time, my colleagues here in the legislature have not made the commitment to the higher education system that the students have made to the higher education system by choosing New Jersey. And the fact that New Jersey is the state with the highest number of out-migration, the number of our high school students who choose to go to college somewhere else. Now, some students choose to go to college somewhere else for lots of reasons. Some people want to go to college in Washington, D.C. like I did. Some people want to go and, for some reason, you can go to Penn State or Notre Dame and root for their football teams, or the University of Virginia, which lost this past weekend, I'm sad to say. But many people leave because we don't have enough capacity. I guess we're 45th or so when it comes to the capacity of undergraduate students to stay here. So students who may want to stay in our state have to go somewhere else. We can do better than that. And the Garden State Student Alliance today has become a key ally with legislators. And there are legislators, Republican and Democratic. The chairman of the Higher Education Committee, Pat Dignan, the vice chair of the Higher Education Committee in the Assembly, Assemblywoman Pam Lampett, are passionate, committed, dedicated advocates for higher education in our state. Today, the Garden State Student Alliance and the thousands of petitions we have in front of us are sending a very clear message that it is our students and our student trustees at our colleges and universities all across New Jersey that are going to be passionate frontline advocates for our students, for our classrooms, for our science labs all across New Jersey. And one final point. Today in the State Senate, we're going to take up a number of pieces of important legislation that will deal with the economic climate in New Jersey, doing everything we can to improve New Jersey's economy at a time of international economic crisis. There may be no better thing we can do for the long-term economic health of New Jersey than to build the top-notch higher education system that our students today need. Because the higher education system doesn't just benefit the students who are in it. It doesn't just benefit the students who will go in it, but it benefits every New Jerseyan by drawing the best and brightest talent to New Jersey to teach, to study, to learn, and to research. It's one of the reasons why we can look at states like the Virginia higher education system, the North Carolina higher education system, the Michigan higher education system, and the California higher education system, because those legislatures, years in the past, committed to higher education. It's the reason why IBM went to the Research Triangle Park. It's the reason why you drive up and down Route 267 in Northern Virginia, the Dulles Toll Corridor, and see all the high-tech businesses that are there. It's Silicon Valley. Those are anchored by higher education. They're anchored by our students and our faculty. We need to do that in New Jersey. And we need to turn New Jersey, with the best and brightest high school and college students in the world, we need to turn New Jersey into an economic engine of high-tech research and high-tech development. And at a time, especially as we're moving, as they're discussing in Washington, the commitment to green cars, green energy, and energy efficient, New Jersey, that gave us the light bulb. It is our colleges and universities that should be the center of the research that will give us the next generation of energy efficient and green technology. We should do that on our colleges, our universities, and our community colleges. And today, these students and this organization is making the very clear commitment that in New Jersey, it is higher education that will drive us to a stronger, brighter economic state in the future. And Michael and everyone who's put this together, thank you for inviting me here today. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Bilberoni. Now we would like to move to talking more specifically about the state of higher education here today. Tom?
Thanks, Mike, and thank you, Senator Baroni. Good afternoon. My name is Tom Eng, and I'm the student trustee at Ramapo College and also the lobbying chair for the Garden State Student Alliance. I'd like to begin by noting the most recent cut to public higher education in New Jersey. This past fiscal year's budget contained an average of a 10.2% decrease in funding to the 9 major public colleges and universities of New Jersey, represented by the New Jersey Association for Colleges and Universities. The most severe cut being an 11.2% cut to Ramapo College, the school which I attend and represent here today. Now, as severe as this cut may seem in isolation, it's important to realize that these cuts have become an unfortunate historical trend here in New Jersey. In fact, 3 years ago, when public higher education was cut, New Jersey was dead last in increases to higher education funding year over year, according to the Chronicle for Higher Education. Currently, New Jersey ranks number 2 in the country for the highest tuition ratings for in-state students. Part of this reason can be attributed to the lack of state funding to public higher ed institutions. It's important that a distinction is made between funding to K-12 education in New Jersey and to public higher education in New Jersey. While New Jersey ranks in the top 5 states in the nation in K-12 funding per capita support, it is ranked 45th in higher education funding. This emphasis on K-12 education clearly illustrates the importance our state sees in educating the youth and future of our state. It is clear that these students ensure economic and social progress for New Jersey for the future, which is something Senator Baroni eloquently described. However, cutting public higher education translates into higher tuition at our colleges. This forces many students out of opportunities at state colleges, resulting in students either not going to college or leaving the state for higher education opportunities at a lower price. As a result, New Jersey has one of the highest net migrations in the country for students leaving the state to go to college because state tuition has become so inaccessible. If students leave the state for college, they will be less likely to come back. And if this is so, we're not securing our investment of well-educated New Jersey high school grads who we're investing so much in. It's important to note that public higher education is being neglected in more ways than simply underfunding. This past year, the state failed to fully fund salary increases to faculty and staff, leaving the colleges with much of the cost, despite the fact that the state itself negotiated these contracts. While salary increases are necessary to attract the best and brightest faculty and staff to our colleges, the state of New Jersey needs to be a supportive partner in helping to pay for these decisions. I hope that you all understand that these cuts to higher education leave the greatest financial burden not on the colleges, but the student.